Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for joining again. It's Aluminum Tarot. We are going to go back into our readings for today for the fire signs. Apologies for, pushing things back a bit. I had to attend an event for the weekend, but it was an amazing event. Had a chance to catch up with some lovely people from my past and have a great time, spending time with them. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off. Thanks so much. If you'd like to find out more about Aluminum Tarot, please look at the description box below. If you enjoy what you see here and these readings resonate with you, please give a like, share, and subscribe. And I'll make sure I keep the content going. Also, push up those algorithms to a happier place. And just kind of reach more people, get the messages out. And for everyone that's done that so far, I sincerely appreciate all the love and support that you've shown. And I hope that these messages continue to resonate with you. That said, please be mindful of scammers outside, not outside, but on the internet, posing as tarot readers and trying to take people's hard-earned money by conning them out of their stuff. Push them away, block them, shun them, throw them to the four corners of the earth. Make sure that they do not get a chance to do that to anyone else in the near future. I offer personal readings. If you'd like to get one of those, feel free to do so at the website, aluminumtarot.com. You can find that in the description box below as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get on this reading. Let's do it. We're going to be reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for June 2023. I'm going to go ahead and get these readings out today as best as possible for the fire signs. So, let's begin. Okay. Wait. You know what? I actually forgot I was supposed to do something. So let's do that instead. We're going to put down the right of weight. We've got Kipper decks. I forgot that I'm putting in the Kipper into these readings. So hopefully this will give some additional insights. Let's try it with the Kipper deck. Okay. What does the Kipper have to say about Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising? What does the Kipper deck have to say about Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising? What messages do the Kipper deck have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, June 2023. Kip, let us know. All right. First message that the little ones have to say to us. It's two messages. Long way, unexpected money, and his thoughts. So let's break it down one by one, and then we'll try to synthesize all this together. So we have a long way. So this can indicate some kind of journey that you need to take. Almost looks like we have the old man, that is the hermit here, looking to achieve or reach some kind of holy place or destination. So that person's journey is taking, of course, a long time, and they are, learning things along the way or developing themselves along the way. So it's kind of almost like a pilgrimage or reaching a destination after a long, arduous journey. So that being said, we have unexpected money, where this person is seemingly bumping into something. We have two bulls here, which the bulls represent kind of wealth and prosperity, and the material world as well. You have an angel here, seemingly dropping this down into the farmers, tilling the ground, and he's just like, Eureka, we found gold. So that being said, it's almost like a sudden windfall that the person has to go, will experience. And for them, I guess it kind of helps to change their circumstances as well. So it seems as we go along this that you've been waiting a long time for some kind of financial windfall to, reach you. And I'm supposing that you have been ruminating about this quite a bit for the last few months or so. We have number 16 here. 1 plus 6 is 7. That's you being in your thoughts, thinking about something similar to the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles. And for you, you have been, contemplating or wondering about what kind of things can come into your life so that you can kind of change your financial situation. So if you are experiencing any kind of financial setbacks or anything like that, do know that help is on the way. It is, a long time coming, and certainly, your efforts have not been overlooked by the universe. So that being said, that's what I would see from these 3 Kipper cards at the same time. Hang in there. Things will happen. You'll finally get that emotion. You'll finally get that financial windfall that you can benefit from for, your financial standing as it seems right now. Maybe you are looking to save up for something new. You want to buy a house. You want to buy a new car. You want to save up to go to school. So if any of these things ring a bell, just know, if you're investing in something or saving for something, keep doing that. Make sure that long journey that you're taking towards financial abundance will pay off in the future. Make sure that you are mindful of your budget and of your expenses. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into the tarot deck. Back to the Rider-Waite. We missed you. Okay. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. June 2023. Spirit, please show us what is taking place in Leo's life. Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is happening in Leo's life? Sun, Moon, and Rising. June 2023. General reading. What's taking place in Leo's life? Sun, Moon, and Rising. One more good shuffle. All right. Now, let's begin. Celtic Cross, we're going to clarify these with a few other cards, and let's dig in, see what's going on for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for June 2023. Current situation. Oof. That is a challenge. What's in the recent past? Recent past for Leo, June 2023. What's in the near future? Okay. What about the root of the reading? What's at the crown of the reading? And once again, floppy card. Be right back. All right, there we go. Found it. Okay, so how does Leo see themselves? How is Leo in all of this? The environment. What is in Leo's environment? What about the hopes and fears of Leo? Last but not least, the outcome. I saw this card not too long ago in this deck. I think it was at the first of it, and now it's popped back out in the exact same position. Let's go ahead and clarify what the Devil Reversed is here. All right, maybe one more on that one. Clarify, Devil Reversed. Okay. All right. Bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Swords reverse. This means that you're taking decisive action towards something. You are no longer in your head about it. You're no longer blocking it out. And now it is time for you to receive the fate that you are trying to create for yourself. I remember someone was saying on the internet, I can't remember exactly who it was that was speaking about it, but it was about when you are in this lifetime, basically, it's not so much to become someone special, but it is to create the world that you have so desired. And in this free will, this is exactly how we're able to manifest both the good and the bad that we experience throughout our lives. And so what we must do as individual entities within this, within this existence, is to leverage and to tap the magician energy within your lifetime. This gives you the chance to use all the material resources, all the different elements around you, and actually create the future that you seek. And there's something that wants me to tell you about that. And I think it is because in this particular situation, I see a particular Leo that is avoiding drastic change within their lives. And I think that they have been instead kind of holding themselves up, not necessarily taking any decisive action on that. And in the desire to kind of stick your head in the sand, you're avoiding the changes that need to take place in your life. What are these changes that need to take place in Leo's life? What are the changes that need to take place in Leo's life? Oh, God. Okay, that doesn't really tell me much. Let's go a little more. What are the changes that need to take place in Leo's life? Okay. Now, when I ask this question, I get two cards. I've got the Hangman reverse and the Emperor reverse. So this is 12, this is 4. Now, in the negative, 12 minus 4 is 8. 8 is strength. That is holding back from the major arcana. And so manifesting the strength, if you act within your negative, you're basically going to hold yourself back. And that's kind of what it's showing here in the cards here. That is what you're doing. You're holding back from this change that needs to take place. In the positive, 12 plus 4 is 16. And if I'm not mistaken, I need to come back and remember exactly which card that was. So it'll come back to me in my mind. What I do intuitively get, though, is that for you, it's important for you to have a change of perspective. I see a person who is trying to control something a bit too much and refusing to see the way forward. And I think it's because things have been comfortable the way they have been for so long that for you, any kind of threat to that particular, tower that you've built is now being challenged. I mean, any threat to your tower is essentially now, you're buckling down to try to make sure that doesn't happen. So say, for instance, you're living in a place and you need to move. The new place would allow you to save more money. The new place would allow you to make more friends and to get out and do more stuff, potentially new job opportunities. But you're so attached to where you are now that you refuse to move. Say, for example, you're living with a person. I don't know why I get this situation. You're living with a person that is extremely controlling, domineering, or, that could be parents or that could be a significant other. And rather than leaving this Emperor reverse, this control freak, you're actually choosing to ignore what needs to be done about that situation. And you're willfully, blissfully ignorant about it. Now, that said, that's what I intuitively get here. So if you're in a toxic relationship, abusive relationship, I don't really condone at all these types of relationships. Do get the help that you need and find an exit strategy, which we could probably cover that in a completely other reading later on. But yeah, case in point, if you're in a situation that leaves you stuck, because typically for the Emperor is number 4. 4 is stability and, groundedness, laying that foundation for your life. In the negative, that is where a person is either doing it too much or not enough. There's not a balance in that specific situation. And now the foundation that you are dealing with is being tested. Now, are you going to pass that test? That's the other thing that we want to think about, because right now, you have the Page of Pentacles reverse in the recent past. So this could either show like a little bit of financial immaturity with yourself, not being able to save the amount of money that you need for whatever it is that you need to do. Maybe you need to go ahead and take action on something practical, potentially applying for a loan, applying for a raise, getting the kind of financial support that you need or the education that you need to go for further with yourself. But unfortunately, you have blocked that from taking place. And so in doing so, you're actually limiting that opportunity that could potentially come in, because I do see that in the crowning position. That is what you want. You want something new to come in, but you're not actually taking the steps that you need to get there. And so that said, what I see here, you could run the risk of losing out, because you have the Two of Cups reversed. This is a disconnect between something, between yourself and something that you find passionate about. We can clarify that a little bit more and see exactly what this disconnect is about. What is the disconnect about in the near future? So again, there is the King of Swords, and it's in the reverse. Normally, this is a person that is very, very logical, a mastermind, someone who is very good with their intellect, a master of the intellect, a master of the will and free will. Unfortunately, in the reverse, this can be someone who's either A, narcissistic, B, this could be someone that doesn't really see things in a clear light, because typically in the upright, you do see that the king is above the clouds that, are surrounding him in his environment. And he is looking straight forward, which means that he is in the present as things are. He does not BS anything. He doesn't look too far to the past. He doesn't look too far to the future. He is aware of everything in the moment and in the now. And so these butterflies also, allow him to have that clarity and to be a bit lighthearted, to do this, to be able to ascertain what is going on in the real world. In the reverse, this is a person who is running away from and escaping that reality. So this is a warning. I would say that what you need to do is to put this King of Swords upright, get clear, get grounded, and that way you can avoid the worst of this particular situation. Because it's strange enough that in the root of all of this, you do have the Eight of Pentacles. It is something that you are working towards. It's just, is the methodology that you're using the correct methodology? What are you putting your energy and your effort into? In order for you to really understand that, you should probably ask yourself, am I spending my energy wisely? Am I doing things the way that they need to be done in order to achieve success? If I've done one thing the same way over and over again and expecting different results, that is what they say is insanity, of course. And I think in your particular reading, it's warning you of that. So what are you putting your energy into? What are the Leos putting their energy into? Okay. So when I get these two cards, I get the Empress and the Five of Swords. It almost gives me the type of person who is willing to get ahead at any cost. They're putting their energy into growing, expanding, but in a way that is surreptitious and also, the best way I can describe it is a person who is willing to get ahead at all costs. If this is not you and this is someone that's related to the reading, then definitely, look into it as such, see how the energy resonates in your specific reading. Because I'm reading for a large audience, people, then it's of course going to be different, depending on who I'm reading for. But in your life, think about it. In order for you to grow and expand, do you want it to take place from a position of conflict, or do you want it to take place from a position of attracting through the right way? Do you need to manipulate in order to get ahead, or do you need to go ahead and attract things using the natural law in order for you to become successful? I see you waiting here. I see you, maybe potentially being in your negative. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I see that a person, they know what they want. They're using a specific tactic to get it. And unfortunately, that tactic is not really working. and the foundation for the entire drive to success is actually creating issues. It's actually on a faulty tower. So I see here underneath all of this, we just had the King of Swords reverse. Now we have the Queen of Swords reverse at the bottom of the deck. So this is an intellectual, way of doing things. I see a person who is not exactly clear on what they need to do in order to reach their goal. And if this is not you, you could be dealing with an air sign who is doing this, because we have multiple air sign and fire sign cards here in the spread. We have the Queen of Swords, we have the King of Swords, we have the Empress, which is the Libra card. So you could be dealing with a Libra, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You could be dealing with an Aries. You could be dealing with a Pisces. And in the end cards, we have, Capricorn as well, and Cancer. So person with any of those placements in there, in their particular charts, whether it's Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, any of those. Now, that said, we can move on. Let's see about this. I don't know why I'm getting, if this isn't you, this is a person who is manipulative and is actually doing this to you, and their energy is so strong that it's actually showing up in the reading. So this may be an overpowering type of energy, a burdensome person. Whether you have a mum or a dad who is incredibly controlling, boyfriend or girlfriend who is also very controlling. It's almost like they're trying to force their way into this reading, and that to me is a bit odd, but it can happen. So, how you see yourself. It's almost like you have a period of frustration where you're saying to yourself, how am I going to make this work? Because this never gets off the ground. It's Eight of Wands reverse. If you are dealing in a romantic sense, what you would experience if it materializes this way is that maybe you're trying to get with a person who never gives back. And essentially you are left with a lot of false starts. It's a relationship that's on again, off again. And it's someone that doesn't always give their 100% when you're giving 1,000%. So there's an imbalance of energies in this. There's no spark to light this relationship. If this is job related, you'd find that you're giving all of your energy to this job and they're not paying you enough, or they're not really getting any success with their projects. And you're starting to question whether or not this is going to be a long-term viable position to be in. Because, of course, the job market and the economy is volatile right now, especially with everything going on politically, war abroad, and also finances down at home. So think about how you see yourself. Maybe perhaps you see that you don't have what it takes to actually achieve these goals. And perhaps I would say for you, you would need a bit more confidence in order to push forward and try to, work towards that. But maybe you're just feeling drained. I feel in one sense, you've been beating your head against the wall and not finding the success that you want. So say, for instance, it would materialize in this way. A person is applying for jobs and they have been applying for months, trying to get the right job, and nothing's happening. And at this particular point, you feel depleted. You've been trying to, in a relationship, speak to someone, trying to get them on the same page, make a relationship work. Yet you realize this person is a brick wall, because you do have the Emperor reverse and the Hangman reverse. This is a person who is stubborn, super closed-minded, not willing to change, not willing to give the effort forward that they need to. An Emperor is the master, the male energy of the entire universe. It's all four kings combined. In the negative, this is a person who is an absolute, I'm going to say failure. Yeah, I'm going to say failure. I'm not going to use the other word right now. I'll try to keep it a little PG-13 or whatever you want to call it. This is a person who just cannot be in command of their own space, or does it to the point where it's stifling. So if you find yourself in either one of those situations, say, for example, you had a boss that was doing this. Every time you work with this boss, they're yelling at you, they're telling you to piss off, they're telling you, go back and do it yourself, ask this other person to do it instead of me, not being super helpful, not being very nice about things, and yet they expect you to do all the work, and that they expect you to carry the workload yourself and then pile on more responsibilities just to control you. It is very one-sided, unequal, and non-conducive relationship. So love, work, finances, think about exactly how that would play in your life. In your environment, I don't know why I get the expression you feel like things are spiraling out of control. Because with the Chariot, even though you could be making some forward moving progress, the Chariot is the Emperor. It's the same Emperor here, normally being guided by two sphinxes. One's white, one's black. One's male, one's female. And these are the energies of the universe that propel everything through it. And essentially, he's leaving the city for something better, or for, to explore something new. But he's not in control of the Chariot itself, the Chariot being the universe, because you have the cloth here with the stars on it, and then the crown here where he has the main star. I think this is the same main star that's in the star card. And this is being used as a beacon of light. It's almost like the crown chakra itself. So this is a person that needs to be in tune with their higher self in order to move forward and be guided by the forces of the universe. And I think that in this, it almost feels like a person who is praying to themselves and begging to themselves. God, Divine One, however you see it, please help me move forward and make something happen in my life. It doesn't necessarily reek of it doesn't really communicate desperation. What it communicates to me is a person looking for a sign on how best to move forward. You want to be the authority figure that can make things happen. You want to show other people that you're capable of making things happen. But I see these two sphinxes here. They're actually not moving at the moment. There's no forward movement. And you're just asking the universe, please help me. Push me forward. How do I do this? I get that from this part. Normally, I would say that you're making forward progress. If I wanted to read it at a superficial level, you're making progress. You're going to, move towards, your environment is helping you to move towards your goals. And if that's the case, find out how your environment can do that. Ask people if you're looking for a job. Don't just apply to a ton of jobs and expect people to help you out. You might need to ask people who are actually in the industry who may know someone who can get you the right job. Additionally, you may be looking at a relationship, and how do I save this relationship? Well, ask yourself, rather than doing that, how do you change your perspective, as in the Hangman from the recent part? How do you change your perspective so that way you could say, okay, is this relationship what I need? How do I free that energy up so that I can find the love that I desire? So in order for you to move forward, your environment is asking you, what is it that you need to do? Being the Emperor, the center of your universe. What is it that you need to do that can approach things from a different way? And I'm going to clarify that in the next card. So in your hopes and fears, normally we would say this is a person who is devious, a bit underhanded, surreptitious, a person who is not necessarily the most trustworthy of friends. But sometimes that energy is needed. I'm usually not the type of person who looks at the Seven of Swords as a bad card. This is a person who knows how to use their knowledge, their craft, their skill to defeat opponents much, much larger and more numerous than they are. Because he is essentially stealing the swords from a rival camp, a military camp. And they're finding out, and they're running after him in some of the different cards, as you see in the bottom left here. They're aware that he has come in, he's taking the swords, he is sneaking off so that they can't fight the battle. Sometimes in order for you to make progress in something, you have to do it in a way that is skillful or crafty. And this will in turn give you the capability to achieve and reach your goal without making as much effort. And I keep hearing the phrase, work smarter, not harder. If you're in a relationship and you find that this person is not treating you well, or there's something that the two of you need to work on, try a new strategy. That doesn't mean you go out and just sleep with the first person that you go to when you that you find when you're at a bar or like a pub or anything like that. It would indicate to you, what's the best way to get back to my happiness? Do I need to leave? Do I need to have counseling sessions? If that's not possible, why am I still here? How am I deceiving myself on the way things should be? If I'm staying in a relationship and it's not giving me any happiness, but I'm staying because people want me to be there, or because I feel that I have the duty in order to make this happen, in order for this relationship to remain, why am I doing that as a form of self-sabotage and of self-deception? When you release the burden, that is where your happiness lies. Your happiness doesn't lie in preserving something that you want to work out. People get stuck in that narrative for far too long, where they believe that their life success is predicated on what other people think of them, or on making something work that isn't supposed to. So think about, your biggest hope is to switch up your game, but your biggest fear is to delude yourself in thinking that this is what you really need. In a relationship sense, it could be staying in a toxic marriage or toxic relationship. In a financial sense or a work sense, it could be staying in a job that no matter how much you throw into it, they're not going to stop wanting more. And this is evidenced here in the last set of cards. The outcome, should you choose to switch up your game, Devil reversed. So you're getting out of the toxicity that is keeping you stuck with this faulty towers. Getting out of the toxicity. And finally, I would say reclaiming your joy and happiness. Whether or not that is through a support system, going out, having a good time, just kind of trying to forget about it, some of the struggles that you've had to deal with. But in a general sense, I see this as being a way for you to get with people who actually vibrate on your own frequency, the people that are actually going to lead you to this happiness, and celebrating with them. And I feel that this is serving a warning. Let go. Let go of what it is that is holding you back. If it is you should see that. You're the hermit. The challenge for you in this card, in this reading, is to go within and find out the truth about yourself. We often so much look to externalities to define why we are happy, why we're miserable, why we're successful, and why we are a failure. We never look within to say, what am I doing to lead to this conclusion? What am I doing to manifest this? And more importantly, what does it mean to me? If you're not making 8 figures like so many people want everyone to be, I'm a successful person, I've got muscles, I've got 8-figure salary, I drive a Porsche, Lamborghini, blah, 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 blah. These are some of the saddest people to me. I'm going to be real, and let's just speak a little bit about this. We live in a society that says, from birth to death, my number one goal is to get lots of women, to go out here, to parade myself around in expensive clothing, expensive houses, expensive cars. I have to be numero uno every single day of my life. Now, whether you call this alpha male or just, the Chad or whatever you want to call it, or, the Kardashian or whatever, there are people on this planet that exist solely for the validation of other people, and yet it's questionable whether or not they see their success as real success. Who are you trying to be successful for? Is it for yourself, or is it for the admiration of others? And this is a Leo reading, and Leos tend to love being admired by others. However, the Leo is represented by the sun. And the sun is a big ball of hydrogen and other chemicals that burns bright in the darkness. If it's far away, we call it a star. If it's close up and we depend or rely on it, it's called the sun. Now, instead of going after things so that you can shine for others, be your own guiding light. This is you in this lantern here. Some would say it's a star, which is related to Aquarius, but a star is still a sun, if you need it to be the sun. Ask yourself what it is that you're holding on to, and are you living a lifestyle that is basically for someone else? Is it crafted totally for you? Even if you were to live in the woods and spend time in nature and work remotely, that's happiness, that's success. You don't need to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need to chase other people, because the people you're chasing are the ones that you'll attract into your life, and they will be just as broken as you allow them to be. Realize that your strength lies in how you choose to shine. You are the Leo, you are the sun, you are the lion. Are you going to lead by example, by building a life that is completely yours, or is it going to be for someone else? Even with all your success and your riches and the love and admiration you receive from other people, it's still not your life. It's someone else's. And you'll go back to your million-quid mansion, your expensive house. You'll go back to your car, and you'll realize that I have been working and doing all of this for someone else. And those people aren't necessarily all around you when you need them the most. Think about that for a bit. Get clear on what it is that you need. Ask yourself what it is that you really, really desire, and then go for that. Build a new foundation. Don't build faulty towers. Anyways, this is Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you do, please give a like, share, and subscribe. Ding the notification bell. And also, if you'd like a personal reading, please get in contact with me at the website included in the description box below. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Hope you have a wonderful weekend or rest of the weekend. And I'll see you at the next reading. Thanks so much. Bye now.